What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. And today I'm very excited because we have something incredibly special in the studio today. After years of delay, First 4 Figures has finally released probably one of the most anticipated statues of the year. And let's just be honest, the excitement for the release of the statue has been around and lingering with Metroid fans for about 3 years now. Those of us who recall our days in the 8-bit era and gaming on the original Nintendo Entertainment System will tell you that a title like Metroid was a watershed game that changed the industry forever. The original Metroid was light years ahead of its competition and introduced certain game mechanics that we often take for granted today. Concepts like non-linear level design, exploration, a real sense of dreaded isolation and atmosphere, and most importantly, progression through various power-ups and abilities. This franchise would continue that level of excellence into the 16-bit era with a critically and commercially acclaimed Super Metroid. But this franchise didn't want to rest on its own success, and it would reinvent itself yet again for the modern era with the Metroid Prime series, taking it into first-person perspective. And it was awesome. So it gives me great pleasure to be able to review First 4 Figures version of Samus, the Varia suit from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Let's take a closer look. Okay guys, look, it is very rare when a statue literally takes your breath away, and that's what this thing did immediately when I took it out of the box. Holy shit, is this thing beautiful. I mean, the head sculpt alone is fantastic. Just take a look at the helmet. Now please keep in mind that this is not the lighted up version. Unfortunately, that one is becoming increasingly rare, but it doesn't matter if you have the light up version or this one. Either way, this is beautiful and a brilliant recreation of what we see in the game. The color palette here is so amazing. Just look at the finishes there. Now with this piece, I wanted to pay a little bit more attention to the morph ball sections, particularly on the shoulders, and guys, they did an excellent job here. The black accents against that kind of orange paint, which has this pearl sheen to it, and it looks incredibly metallic, is done so well here. And if you'll notice, there are some dry brushing accents that make it look so fantastic and realistic. This is an incredible job, guys. You can tell that a level of craftsmanship went into this, and that's probably why they delayed it so much, but hey, this is a great result. The midsection of this piece is incredibly impressive, and you can definitely see the influences of the Chozo technology. I love the modularization here, and also the color palette once again. But most importantly, take a look at the shading there. There is this really interesting kind of work with the light and shadow. They did it really well. It has these different hues to it when you look at it in certain angles. I also love the separation of that color of the orange with that lighter shade. It looks really great. The green accent sensors really pop, and I love that she's got her hand on her hip. Screams confidence. Now the stance for this piece is really wonderful, and the lower section is equally impressive. I love the inner lining of the suit, which gives it layer upon layer of sculpt, which looks really nice, especially in that gunmetal finish, accented by the orange, and the slightly lighter shade of orange looks great. The knee pads are incredible. They look sharp, just like what you see in the game, and the boots are absolutely fantastic. I love the sculpt here. Overall, this is so impressive, and the height of this piece really gives it presence, and I have to be honest, this thing is towering over many of my premium formats. Now, this statue would be nothing without getting the iconic beam weapon right, and they did an amazing job here. One of the criticisms I had with the previous statue is that it looked a little bit weird, but this one is beautifully recreated. Again, this is not the light up one, and that's unfortunate, but this one is beautiful in its own right. The shading and that color of green is spectacular, and it really pops out. It is a focal point of this piece, and they did an amazing job. It is beautifully recreated here. Now obviously you definitely want to mirror this piece, but this might even be a first for the show. You can totally display it just like this with Samus's back to you. Given the larger-than-life characterization of someone like Samus, it is completely appropriate. She's that much of a badass, and it would still look fantastic. Again, there's a lot of detail here in terms of her jetpack. Just take a look at that Chozo technology, which looks incredible, guys. And again, you see the wonderful care that it took that went into this piece. Look at the calves, for God's sakes. Definitely mirror this piece, or just let her have her back to you. It doesn't matter, it's awesome. Now, you guys all know how I feel about large bases and relatively big footprints, but in this particular case, I don't give a shit. Samus is so larger than life that she deserves a huge base. It is beautifully recreated here with the symbol of the screw attack. That red comes out so wonderfully, and accented by that silver, it just makes it pop out. This thing is beautiful, guys, and I'm glad they went into this direction, and I love how the screw attack symbol is kind of etching out of either side of the base. It just looks great, guys. Now, one of the things that I really appreciate about First 4 figures is that they really give you a sense of prominence in the piece that you get in terms of the authenticity. Now, this one comes with this really cool plaque which does read Samus Varia suit. It has its individualized number. It's like a serial number, which looks great. A picture of the actual figure itself, or the statue I should say. Things like these are awesome for high-end collectibles because it gives you a real sense that this is a coveted piece. And finally, one of the most important aspects of these pieces is that they are numbered. If you flip the base over, you will see that there's a lot of information regarding the prominence of this piece. It does read First 4 figures, Samus Varia suit, an explanation of the total run, which is 800. Your numbered piece, I have number 23. I have 23 of 800 worldwide. It also reads Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and the seal of the Nintendo license. So this thing is just cool, guys. It is legit. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence here, so this is a instant holy grail piece. From the minute it was announced, this thing sold out immediately, and if you're lucky enough to have one of the light up features, guys, you better hold on to that thing because it is going to be worth buku dollars in the future. But if not, this one is just as awesome, guys. I highly recommend it. Unfortunately, it has gone on to the secondary market, so you're going to have to pay a higher premium for it, but if you are a Metroid fan, definitely pick this one up. Now, before I go, I definitely want to thank everyone at First 4 Figures for keeping me updated on when this piece was finally going to be released and sending it over for review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on First 4 Figures version of Samus, the Varia suit from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.